Hi there, welcome to another in the series of ResoLex Radar Talk. Today, very pleased to say we have Mark Farmer with us. Mark is the founder and chief executive of CAST, who are a real estate and construction consultancy. Now, Mark was the author of a highly influential report, Modernise or Die, which was commissioned by the Construction Leadership Council. The report, as the title suggests, has some pretty tough messages for contractors, consultants and clients working in the construction industry. And the report makes a number of recommendations which are a call to action for the industry and the government to see us through into the next decade. So Mark, the first question is, what's happened since the report was issued?
So I think it's been a fairly frenetic 18-19 months since I launched the report in October 2016. I made a series of recommendations aimed at clients of the industry itself, in terms of the supply chain, contractors, consultants, etc., and government actually. In terms of the government recommendations, there's been a lot of activity actually. So one of the first things I recommended was a review of the CITB, which actually was commissioned about a week after my report in October-November 2016. That review was concluded last year. CITB are in the process of responding to that review's conclusions in terms of delivering a new business model, etc. But also, probably quite telling, one of the big things I asked for was for government to act as a strategic initiator. That was a term I used, whereby it could use its role as a client of the industry to influence how the industry delivers differently, including how it modernises. And there's been some significant announcements even in the last 7 or 8 months in terms of late last year and very recently in terms of government agreeing to use its spending power, with 5 of the biggest government departments moving towards a presumption of using MMC, modern methods of construction, including off-site manufacturing, to purchase all its capital spend programme. Just last week, as I speak to you, we had the launch of the construction sector deal, which gave a lot more detail in terms of what the government's planning to do, and effectively that sector deal was very much a response to my challenge to government in terms of having a organised sector strategy that will move our industry forward. So my view is it's been a fairly busy time. There's still lots of work to do, but actually we're seeing some really good progress now being made in terms of addressing head-on some of those challenges.
So at ResoLex, we're particularly interested in the collaboration agenda. And so some of the new initiatives that we've noticed, such as Project 13 and the Integrated Project Insurance, seem to offer a different way of working in the industry. Do you think they're going to have much impact on the culture of the business?
So my view is that procurement is one of the key challenges and barriers we have to modernisation. So we can talk about manufacturing and digital enablement of the industry until the cows come home, but unless we organise ourselves in a different way, and procurement's at the heart of that in terms of project and programme organisational models, we're really going to struggle to put some of those things into action. So for me, some of the recent moves to try and come up with new initiatives and new ways of working, and Project 13, sponsored by the ICE, is a classic example of that, where you've got a completely different view being taken as to how you procure, how you organise teams, how you select teams, importantly, and looking at it as an enterprise-led model. It's not about lowest price anymore, it's about how viewing a programme or a major project as an enterprise, and then everyone sharing in the outcome of that, good and bad, making sure that aligned interests drive the industry forward. And it's the same with the IPI model, the Integrated Project Insurance model, where we've had the case study from Dudley College published, which was a really insightful piece of work, showed what can be done if you organise a team differently and organise around an alliance type model, a multi-party contract. What's interesting about IPI is that the combination with the insurance product makes it fundable, and one of the key things that we're struggling with in the industry at the moment is banks and institutional funds have now moved towards design and build as being their default, where lump sum certainty or perceived certainty is one of their conditions. And if we can simulate that with an insurance wrapper and still deliver multi-party working with aligned interests, then we're onto something. So I'm hopeful that some of those initiatives will start to move us forward in the near future.
Okay, that's really interesting. So what do you see happening next?
Yeah, so if I had a crystal ball, I would give you the blow by blow. But my gut feeling is that we are at a seminal point in the industry's development. I think we are I think the industry's realised it has to do something differently. If you look at what's happened beyond just a response to my report in the last 18, 19 months, and you could include the likes of the failure of Carillion in that, and also the tragedy that happened at Grenfell indirectly is shining a light on our industry as well, then I think all of a sudden we have these catalysts for change that we haven't seen before. So I'm of the view that at last, and it has been a long time, we've been waiting for something to happen at scale, our industry will wake up, will start realising it has to change its business model, will start realising that everyone has to make profit and not just chase cash, which has been the assumption for many a year, and start to really explore what those new models look like. I think one of the biggest accelerants of change we're going to see, which is not just a construction industry related issue, but it's actually in the societal change, which seems to be accelerating every day, is technology. And what's clear to me is that some of the technological opportunities that now present themselves to construction will make that change within reach of not just large businesses, but everyone in the supply chain, SMEs, consultants, contractors, suppliers, in a way that we haven't seen before. So I think that alone will be a reason to be hopeful that our industry will move, will modernise, will start to deliver new ways of working, produce better outcomes for clients, be more collaborative, integrated, all of the things that I talk a lot about. I think technology is increasingly going to be one of the central planks of driving that forward. So I can't tell you specifically what's going to happen, but change is definitely in the air.
That's great. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.